All right, what's up, y'all? We back again. It's test time. We're testing the water. How do you test the water? Right here, the air compressor, or there is hydrojetting it. Today, we're just gonna talk about testing with the air compressor.
Me and my God always conversating. He say I'm happy you called, what you been up to lately?
This is Life in Plumbing, and we're back for another one. All right, let's talk about testing. It's test time. All right, you already got the system up. Everything's good. You feel like there ain't gonna be no leaks, right? So usually they would tell you, a specter will come and he'll tell you like, hey, I want this at a certain amount of pounds and I want it to be air tested, or I want it to be hydrojetted. But today we're gonna do just the air compressor. The last test I did was just strictly air test. So what I did was I brought out my air situation, all right? And this is it right here. Even if you're going to test, you always want to test with air, all right? Just so that you can make sure you're good. A problem that I had a lot of times was I'll pump it up with air, we'll drop the system down because we were hydrojetting it, and then we'll pump it up with the water, and all of a sudden we got leaks, right? So I started to come to the conclusion that maybe, you know, when you're dropping it down, you're throwing water back in there and it's hitting, it might be knocking out some solder that wasn't actually all the way in there. So I like to fill it up a couple times. So if I'm doing just air, I just want to test it, make sure everything is good, I'm always going to pump it up a few times. All right, I'm never going to just do it once. I want to drop it and I want to pump it up again just to make sure, because that problem has reoccurred like a few times throughout the years. So that's what I do. Is your air compressor. Now, me personally, I've had this air compressor since I was an apprentice. All right, so y'all have seen my videos, y'all know that I'm like adamant about apprentices and showing you guys the ropes and how to really get ahead and stand out in this trade. Like, having your tools is everything, right? You have your small tools, you have your drills and stuff like that. But you know, when you can, it's always good to go ahead and grab you one of these air compressors, things that you're doing all the time. Because if you grab that stuff and your foreman doesn't have it, maybe if, like for instance, one of my jobs, my companies, we were had to borrow the air compressor a lot of times. So it was like, sometimes we didn't have it, right? So who looks like the star when you got all the tools they need, all right, at the time that you need it, okay? So I always, like, I couldn't wait to get a truck when I was an apprentice because I wanted to be able to carry more tools and just be more prepared for those type of situations, right? So yes, I went out to Home Depot, I bought me a 150-pound air compressor, all right? So check this out. Y'all probably seen this, y'all probably used it. Air chucks right there, all right? This is where we plug it in at. These retract back, okay? Smash it in there, boom. Make sure it's tight in there. Either one of these will work. If you got two, you're doing your thing with the nail guns. I've seen a lot of drywallers, they're always using these type of air compressors, and they're with their air guns, right? So you'll see that often too out there. The on and off button, that's where it's at, all right? So this is how you hook it up. And then this is how this situation goes right here, all right? And we'll talk more about this later. All right, I have two hoses out here. We're also gonna talk about why I have two different hoses. All right, so when you're releasing this, we'll talk about releasing it right now. Say you pumped it up, boom, 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 you're ready. This is gonna stop because it maxes out at 150. So it's gonna stop when you get to the max pressure, and you'll see it cut off. What I like to do with this one, I've had it for so long, I got to the point now where, like, I always let it build up. I used to just put it on there. I used to, like, as soon as I was ready to put the air in there, I'm plugging it up, and then I'm letting the air get through there as it's filling up. Now I like to let this fill up, and once it cuts off, then I push it in there, and then I start filling up the air, okay? I don't know, for some reason it just feels better to do it that way. So, all right, so right now you got your air filled up, you're waiting for the pressure to build up, it's built up, right? So, all right, we plug this in, and we're filling it up. Look at exactly what I'm doing right now. You could be sitting here for like 15, 20 minutes sometimes, right? Especially if you have a leak and you're trying to figure it out and you don't know, you're waiting for it the gauge to fill up, and you're like, man, what's going on? So you could be here for a while. This is the part I hated the most, all right? So what I did was, when you're releasing this, it's gonna have a lot of pressure. You can actually release it when there's pressure in there, but it's just gonna, you know, just gotta make sure because it'll shoot out at you. But I always push this in, push this up at the same time, and kind of just pull it out. And you'll hear like some air get out a little bit, but it's not gonna kill you. All right, so like I said, I did not like this one. Here is another hose. It's a lot lighter, as you can tell. This one is a lot heavier. I think they're about the same length. Yeah, these are about the same length. Maybe 250. Can't see it right now, but maybe they're about the same length. Regardless, this is pretty much all you need. This is way heavier, way heavier. And it takes up more space, right? This one I could put inside my pack out, throw it up in there, and it'll sit there just like perfectly fine. I love this one because, once again, we're gonna retract this back, throw that bad boy in there. First of all, because it's light and because it has a lot of flex to it, okay? Also, this is the main point. Right here, I love this chuck right here. All right, check that out. Boom, it grabs onto this little gauge right here and you can't pull it off. It's stuck there. Now it can fill it up, all right? This is a lifesaver right here. Nobody wants to stand there for 20 minutes filling up this air thing. I'm telling you, you're on your knees half the time because usually when we plug it up is when you have the lav stub outs. You don't want to be kneeling down and doing that for 20 minutes, okay? So this right here, I recommend everybody get. I'll put I'll show you guys a picture somewhere up here, and then I'll get the name exactly of what this is, and I'll put it in the description of this video specifically. It's very noisy, so you know what I mean? You don't want to have to be holding it and trying to hear what's going on at the same time, so this will help you out. This right here, this, like I said, you have your lab stub outs, right? You have your water stub outs, your hot and your cold. This will go on either side, okay? This right here is to let the air out, all right? You've got your shut-off valve, and we put these together. I put them together in multiple ways. Usually it's a 1/2 inch because what's stubbing out on your lab is mostly 1/2 inch. As you can see right here, I've got an FIP with an MIP, and then this is supposed to be the copper sticking out right here. We cut it off because we were done. It was ready to go. Angle stopped it, and that lab is in. So to a T, right? Because you're gonna let the air out whenever you need to. And then you have this section. These are 3/4, so we had to reduce it, basically come up, and it's a 1/2 inch by 3/4. So we slipped it on there with your FIP right here, and boom, there we go. It's in there. Usually the pressure could be anywhere from 60 to 100 to 120 to 200 pounds. I went all the way up to 200 pounds. And that's when I was hydrojetting. So for this particular one, the last time we used it, I think it was around, they wanted around 120 pounds, 100 pounds. So that's what we did here. And then yeah, that's pretty much it, man. And then once the inspector comes, he checks it, he makes sure it's not dropping down. He'll come look at it, he'll take a picture of it, shake off for about maybe an hour, maybe 15 minutes, depending on what they say, what we'll expect out to be in the details. And he'll come back, boom, check it out, make sure it hasn't moved. And if it hasn't moved, he'll pass you right there. All right, man, so I hope you guys, I just ran through that real quick to give you guys a quick overview of what it looks like when you are testing strictly with air, all right? Once I get a hold of a hydro machine, then I'll show you guys how that connection goes too. It's similar to this, but there is a little bit, it is a little bit more trickier. So yes, I hope you guys got something from that. This is Life in Plumbing. I'm Nate, and I'll see you guys in the next one, all right?
Me and my God always conversating. He say I'm happy you called, what you been up to lately?